Hello, this is Donna. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about colored pencils on pastel board by Ampersand. This is not sponsored in any way. I've used Ampersand for several years just for pastels, but now I'm going to try to use it on colored pencil. So I wanted to show you a few things. I'm going to use Prismacolor, Polychromos, and Luminance. And so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, number one, your pencil doesn't have to be very sharp. You don't want a really sharp point. You just want something that's going to lay down some color. And it doesn't have to be a lot of color at first. So I'm just going to draw this little sphere here, just like this. And then I'm going to be using odorless mineral spirits. I use Gamsol. And so let's go ahead and see how that blends out. And as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of pencil to get a really good color. And you can fill it in as much as you want, okay? And then you're going to let that dry, just like you would on any of the paper. There we go. That's a little bit better. And you can lift a little bit. You can color this in more. There we go. That smooths it out a little bit better. Okay. Now we're going to let that dry. But as you can see, it doesn't really take a lot of color to get coverage. So let's look at what the Polychromos does. Why that one's drying. Again, not a sharp pencil, not an ultra sharp pencil like this. This doesn't really work very well. As you can see, my pencil is not very sharp. And it's just light layers, just like you would do on paper, because you can actually fill up the tooth of this. Okay? You wouldn't think you could, but you can. And then just go over it. There we go. And it doesn't take a long time to dry. And touch this over here, it's almost dry. Alright, now let's try to look at our luminance. Move this over so you can see it. Let me get my little brush here. Got a speck over here. There we go. And so for the luminance, it's the same thing. Just a nice little circle. There you go. Let's go ahead and get some Gamsol now. Hope you can hear me on this. I'm using my cell phone, so hopefully you can hear me. And again, just really lightly going around. All right. There. So there's all three of those. Now you can go back once it's dried, and this is dry. Now you can go back and you can go over it. You can even make it a little darker over here now. Okay. And you can use your brush. It doesn't have to have much on it, just a little bit. And you see that really fills in the tooth. Just like that. And you can manipulate it for a little bit, so that's kind of good. So that's what that looks like. Now let's look at the squares down here. And this is if you're going to be doing a background. Okay. So I've gone ahead and I've got my indigo blue Prismacolor here, and see, it's not very sharp. And you can really just get in there, color in the background, and then go back through and do the black. Good. Alrighty, now let's get some more Gamsol. Doesn't take much. So it's the same principle about working on paper. You want to do light layers. You don't want to really burnish it in. It gets darker faster, yeah, but then you could also have problems with the layers afterwards. And I have found that I can go over this now once it's done, and I can go over it and use odorless mineral spirits, and then after that I can go over it with the textured fixative spray and really get a nice tooth back on it. Trying to get a black out of my drawer here. I'm having issues here. But it's the same for the polychromos and the luminance. So let's see if I can get to the luminance here. I'll do it. Don't think I have a black luminance. Okay, I'll do the darkest one I have. Let me just adjust the camera here. Sorry about that. There we go. And again, just with some Gamsol. This is corrupted from the other one, but you get the idea. It's the same thing. Makes nice green. You could do all sorts of things with it. I'm going to show you one more layer over here on the Prismacolor. Now I can go back over this with black. One thing I like about the pastel board, it is a conservation board, and it's using marble dust as the grit, so it's very fine. It's not too gritty. You won't hurt yourself, you know, trying to blend it out with your fingers or anything. But the soft tools from Pan Pastel really work on it really well. And now just go back over it with a little bit more Gamsol. And you can keep doing this till you get the shade you want, how you want it to look. Now it does streak a little bit, but if you're careful, when you go back over it with your last layer, you can cover up those streaks. And you can see that's pretty black. That's pretty dark. So hopefully this video has helped. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And thanks for watching. Bye.